romantic,
searching,
kind of fantastic.
Everything in reality is somehow a frequency.
We used to be called Good.
And we just thought that was a better name for a band.
We literally have thousands of hours of material.
Good sounded a bit kind of Brit-poppy like Blur.
It was always a concept of making music outside the middle.
And we try to find the frequency that makes us feel good and makes us feel happy.
Influenced by things that are not.
My name is Lucas Elzy, and I play keyboards and guitar and backup vocals.
I'm George, and I'm on the drums.
I'm Craig, and I play bass.
Chris, guitar and vocals.
Self-taught.
Self-taught.
Generally self-taught.
Never been taught and still learning.
Usually somebody comes up with an idea, whether it be an idea that they've been working on at home or something that they make up on the spot. And then we just start to play along, and if it sounds good, then we'll just kind of record it on the iPhone or something like that, and then it'll be sent out after the practice to the rest of the band. And if somebody kind of hooks up on it and said that's really good, we should work on that, then it'll kind of go to the next stage of kind of taking that to bits and kind of reinventing it somehow. And that's, I would say, how 90% of our songs, or whatever these things are that we have, are kind of born.
I think it has to gel. If it doesn't work for somebody, then we drop it. We have thousands of hours of material that we just leave on the side because we're like, okay, we don't have time to work on that now.
Do we?
We've been together for fucking 24 years, mate. You know? I mean, think about it. We gel the things together, and they coagulate, and they become something that we then want to present.
The difficulty for us as four people in a band is, with these thousands of hours, is finding the real worthwhile 10-minute thing, this and that. And this is the first two albums that we did. We worked 3 years going through all of these different songs and coming out with the ones that we wanted to use. With this lineup now that we record every week almost, and every week there's something worthwhile, so we would definitely need somebody to say this one is good, this one's worthwhile, this one's not, because the four of us can't judge. That's one of our problems, I think.
I think if one or two people are kind of really energized by it, once they hear the kind of initial demo, if they kind of bring something that they can imagine that would be expanded upon or developed or something like that, then that usually seems to carry the rest of the band forward.
The jam is always the source.
I think nature, just from things you see that is natural, is an influence for me, I would say.
I love visuals. Visuals, liquid visuals. I love that. That's a kind of an influence.
Photography is my thing somehow. When I'm not a musician, I'm a photographer.
Frequencies. Frequencies. So light is a frequency. Music is a frequency. Everything in reality is somehow a frequency. And we try to find the frequency that makes us feel good, makes us feel happy.
Originally, we used to record our live studio session recordings and call it the Good Library of Music, because we used to be called Good, and this was the Good Library. And then after a while, we decided to change the name to the Good Library.
Good sounded a bit kind of Brit-poppy, like Blur or whatever. So we renamed the Good Library.
Been in this band first before these three. It was always a concept of making music outside the middle and a little bit sort of influenced by things that are not legal, let's call it like that. And so the idea was always making psychedelic music, learning as we went along. And out of the old band, Craig joined us.
99, 2000, I'd been in Vienna 2 or 3 years. I was a good friend with Chris, and he asked me to play bass guitar. Yeah, what other type of bass would you have? And yeah, that was it. I was in from then on.
Then came Lucas.
I worked in a photo studio with this man here, and he said he was playing in a band, and I said, can I come along for fun? And I did, and that's how I joined the band. I think it must have been 2000, 2001. Yeah, a long time ago anyway.
And then George.
3.5 years ago, they asked me for supporting them on drums.
Our drummer was unfortunately not available, let's say, because of the pandemic, and we
didn't die or anything.
No, he didn't. No, but so George sat in, and we just loved the way George played, and we said, okay. And the other drummer stepped out of the band, and George joined. That's how it happened.
And then it started something new for me and for them, I guess. And that's why I'm here. I fucking love it.
And to be honest, it's crazy to say, but we're making more out there music now than we did when we even started. So that's the most exciting thing about playing tonight and playing at all.
Every time we're together is, for me, always special.
I love to be here in this arena Basel, and it's a cool event for me today.
For me, learning the guitar just like as a kid, to play in a band like this, I could never have dreamed of doing, to be honest with you.
Singing Britney Spears songs with Lucas in karaoke bar tonight. We're going to release a new record hopefully next year on Concord Records, which will be our first record since 2000 and something or other. And we've started recording in our basement studio, and it's going to be great.
We're in control of what we want to put out. We have Concord Records on our side to release. But the decision, what comes on that record, is all ours. And as you can imagine, it's like a process of deciding is easier when somebody says, do this one, which we don't do because we're all equal sort of scenario. The main thing is tonight and making a great fucking show. That's my main perspective. Whatever comes next is cool. We play, we make special music, and that's more than I could want for the future as well.